Welcome to the Board Game Network. I'm James. I'm going to be explaining how to play this game called Castles of Mad King Ludwig, put out by Ted Alspach. And Bezier Games put this out. It was a winner for the Mensa Select Award, which is always a good sign for good quality games. It plays 1 to 4 players, so you actually can play the solitaire. It plays in about 90 minutes, and for 13 years and up. Here's your setup. Each person has a foyer, 1 of each color. I've got this set for 4 players, but you can set it up for fewer players. Each person gets a bonus, 3 bonus cards dealt to them, and they're going to look through those and discard 1 of them and keep 2. They get 15,000 marks. The starting player, he's called the Master Builder. He gets this token here. His marker goes on the 0 space. The first player goes on 1, second on 2, third on, or fourth on the 4th space. You put the rooms out. They've got a space on these boards just like this for each room number. So this is the 350 rooms, or 350 square feet rooms is what it is. You put the rest of the bonus cards here. You put the room cards here. Those are all shuffled. And you got 11 room cards per player in this deck. So all the rest of them get discarded. You are going to put out these bonus tokens based on the number of players. This tile here will actually flip over. And this is the 2 and 3 player side. And this is the 4 player side. But just make sure when you're playing, if you're playing, I'm showing you 4 players. If you're playing with less than that, check the setup rules, because there's a few tweaks here and there for discarding, not having quite so many rooms, and not having as many bonus tokens, and a few things like that. So you stack up each of the rooms. You are going to flip up room cards. And each of these room cards has a square footage room, and each square footage room has a shape to it. So here's a 100. You flip that up, and these are all face down, so you only see the number on top. And here's a 250. Here's a 600, a 300, 200, 400, and 100. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then those are just discarded here. And so what happens is the Master Builder, he rearranges these in whatever order he wants. You'll notice there's a price of from 1,000 marks up to 15,000 marks per room. So there's a big range, and you set those up, and you probably want to set those up based on the Master Builder is going to get to buy last. So you want to look to see what other people want and make that stuff expensive. And the stuff that they don't want, you make it cheaper. You also always have the option on your turn to buy stairs or hallways. Those are 3,000 marks in addition to or buying these rooms here. So here is your action and scoring reference card here. So at the beginning of the round, you draw room cards to fill up the number of spaces here that you're supposed to have for your number of players. So if, let's say, 3 of these rooms have been bought, then at the beginning of the round you're going to flip over 3 cards and replace, draw 3 new rooms. You are going to, the Master Builder is going to rearrange these rooms however he feels like it. You can then buy a room, and you buy the room from the Master Builder. So let's say red is going first. Let's say he wants to buy this room here. It costs 4,000. He's going to take the room. He's going to pay 4,000 to the Master Builder. And get change And so that's his action. Or remember, he can buy stairs or a hallway for 3,000. There's upstairs and downstairs hallway, but they're just flipped over is all they are. Upstairs and downstairs. So there's two stacks just to make them so they don't fall over on you. The other option when it's your turn, besides buying, is to essentially pass and take 5,000 marks. So you would do that if you don't like the room selection here, or if you're running low on money. So each player then does that. The red, the green, and the yellow then buy from blue. And if you take the 5,000, obviously the blue player doesn't get, or the master builder does not get any money for that. And then the blue player buys based on what is left out here, and his money goes back to the bank. He doesn't get to keep his money. So that's your round. And then at the end of the round, let's say each of these players bought some stuff here. At the end of the round, each of the rooms that's left gets 1,000 marks on it. So these rooms become more valuable as time goes on, because you're going to buy them, but then you're going to get to keep the money that's on top of the room also. The master builder token gets passed to the left at the end of the round. And then you go back to the top. You draw new room cards. The master builder then rearranges those cards. And then green then would be the first player to purchase. And you go around like this until your room deck runs out. So once your room deck completely runs out, if it runs out in the middle of placing rooms, you actually place as many as you can, pick up the discard, reshuffle all the room cards, including the ones you just drew, and finish out filling up the number of rooms here and playing that last round, and that's the last round of the game. Now, let me explain how rooms fit together. I'm just going to read, there's a lot of several little minor rules, so I want to read them from the rule book so I don't miss any. At least one entrance from the new room must align with an entrance from a room already on your castle. Well, everybody started with a foyer at the beginning, so their first purchase bought one, and so you would just need to match up a doorway with a doorway. You can't just kind of be logical there. Room tiles may never overlap each other. So no placing one so it laps on top of another one. Room tiles may be placed in any 90-degree orientation. So you can't angle, especially like with a circle one or something. You can't try to angle it or something. It has to be exactly square with all the other rooms. You may align entrances to walls as long as rule 1 has been satisfied. So you don't have to have every doorway matching another doorway. As long as you followed the rules for step 1, which is matching a doorway, when you buy a room, you put a doorway to a doorway. It's possible that it blocks off other doorways, and that's okay. Your castle must always have at least one external entrance. So you must have a doorway open somewhere at the external part of your castle always after you've placed your room. That's way you can keep building, obviously. Downstairs rooms and downstairs hallways may only connect to upstairs rooms via a stairs. So you have to buy stairs to go down to a downstairs room, and I don't have any downstairs rooms here, but downstairs rooms are gray instead of colored. You find me a downstairs room, none in there. Here's a downstairs room, the crypt. It's a gray color or a black color. These are downstairs rooms. So to build one of those, you would have to build stairs down on one turn and then buy a downstairs room on a different turn. And downstairs rooms can't connect to downstairs hallways, can't connect to downstairs hallways, and stairs can't connect to stairs. No rooms may be adjacent to the top edge of an outdoor room. Each of the outdoor rooms has a fenced off area on one edge. You cannot put that up next to a doorway or next to another room. No, if you cannot place a room legally, you cannot purchase it. So those are all the rules for placing rooms. Now each of these rooms has icons on them. There's an icon in the lower left, and that tells you what kind of room it is, and that matches the room completion reward reference card here. It tells you this icon, looks like a guitar, is the activity room. Looks like a chalice is a food room. A tree is the outdoor. So the lower left matches that icon. In the middle, there's usually another icon or several icons with a number beside them. That's a bonus for if you put this room next to another room, or a penalty if you put it next to another room. In between the number and the icons for the room, there's either a doorway or a wall. If there's a wall, that means even if it's adjacent to another room, so even if it's not connected by a doorway, that bonus or penalty applies. If it's a doorway, then it has to be connected to the other room for the bonus or penalty to apply. Downstairs rooms like this don't have a doorway or a wall in between them, because that bonus applies to every room in the house, and it doesn't have to be connected or attached in any way to the other rooms for the bonus to apply. Now, room scoring. Let's talk about room scoring. Let's just start out with your foyer here, and we put this buttery room next to it. This is a food room because it's yellow and it has the chalice on the lower left. And this got a 2 in the upper left hand corner and nothing in the middle. So if you place that, then blue would go up 2 spaces. And that's all there is to that room. Let's then come along later and put an outdoor room next to the food room. So when the outdoor room gets placed, it's 2 points, and then it's 1 if it's connected to an activity room. This is not an activity room, so you do not get that 1 point bonus. And then you look at this room in the center to see if there's a bonus or penalty, and apply that bonus or penalty also. So in this case, it would just be 2 points. So blue would go up 2 points when he places this one. Now let's get somewhere I can show you some bonuses here. Now you'll notice this activity room has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of rooms that it gets penalized for even being next to. It's a -2 point penalty. And it's got a wall in between it, so even if it's touching, corners touching is okay, but the wall touching would get that penalty if it's adjacent to one of those room types. So let's say we had here is a utility room, and that gets put next to. Now this utility room only has 1 door, so this one would be out in play at some point. And we come along and we play this activity room, or the utility room, the sauna, and that's worth 3 points. There is no bonus or penalty in the sauna, but there's a penalty here for being next to the utility room. So it'd be 3 points minus 2 points, and he would only get 1 point for scoring that one. So you want to look at the room that you're placing, the point in the upper left-hand corner, look at the bonus or penalty in the middle, and the bonus or penalty in the one that you're attaching to. And then you go ahead and score that. And if you play a downstairs, after you've obviously gone down the stairs, then you score. This one has score for every living room in the whole castle. So Mad King Ludwig he spent his fortune building castles. And the crypt gives you 1 point for every single living room in the whole castle. And then if a castle living room gets played later on in the castle, then this one gets scored again, 1 point for that new room. So you always, once you play, you always have to check your basement rooms to see if you're scoring more points. You get completion bonuses. Now a completion bonus means you have connected every single room, every single door in the room to another door. If it's blocked off, it doesn't count. If it's next to a wall, it doesn't count. It has to be connected to another door. And the reference card here tells you what your completion bonus is. So like the activity room just gives you 5 points if you complete it, 5 points on the score track. The food bonus lets you take another turn. And the way another turn works is you just get to buy another room out here, or you can draw 5,000 marks, or you can buy stairs or a downstairs or a hallway, upstairs or downstairs hallway. So you just get another purchase or another money. The corridor, you get to place a free hallway or stairs if you finish a corridor. And your starting foyer, if you notice, it is a corridor. So if you connect all 3 rooms there after 3 turns or so, then you get a free hallway or stairs. If the hallway or stairs are ever gone, then you don't get any more. They are out. The sleeping room, you choose 0, 1, or 2 rooms from a stack and place them face down on the room deck. So you get to actually pick up the stack, look through the stack, pick 0, 1, or 2, and put them on top of the room stack. And then when the room stack gets drawn on the next round, those 2 come out, or however many you put there, come out before the cards get flipped and more cards come out. And the purpose for that is maybe you have rooms that you want to buy, so you put those out. Or it could be you actually get bonuses at the end of the game for having rooms from an empty stack. And so if you put those out, they will get dumped out here, and you may get points at the end of the game for that. Outdoors, you get $10,000, 10,000 marks if you complete the outdoors. Utility, you take 2 bonus cards and keep one of them, so you actually get to look through these bonus cards and look at 2 of them, take one, put the other one underneath the stack. And these are good for scoring at the end of the game, the bonus cards. The living rooms let you rescore the completed room's points. So the room scored earlier, but when you complete that room, you actually get the score again, plus any bonuses that it receives again. The downstairs rooms, when they are completed for the 2nd, 4th, 6th, for an even number of rooms downstairs, you take your choice of any of the other 7, whichever one you want. So you have to have 2 downstairs ones completed to take one of the bonuses, and then on your 4th one completed, you get another bonus. Then at the game ends when the deck runs out. Just like I explained earlier, the game ends scoring. I didn't talk about these King's Favor tokens, but these get dealt out. There's a bunch of them. You shuffle them upside down and you deal them out. There's 4 here for 4 players. And they give bonuses at the end, game end scoring. If it's got a square around it, it is for square footage. So this one would give a bonus for the most square footage in the outdoor rooms. So everybody would look at their outdoor rooms and add up the square footage. The square footage is in the upper right hand corner. This is 400 square foot, which matches the number on the back. So you just add that up. Whoever has the most gets 8 points. Second most is 4, third most is 2, fourth is 1. This one is for the most of the large rooms here. It's got a picture of each of the large rooms. You count up how many of those rooms you have. Whoever got the most gets 8, second 4, and so on. This one is based on the number of external entrances into your castle. Uncompleted external entrances. So you would just count those up and get the bonus. A circle means you count the number of rooms instead of adding up the square footage for this kind of room. Here's a few more here. This is for the number of round rooms you have. This is for the most money. Who has the most money gets 8, and then 4, 2, 1. This one is for the most small rooms. So you add up the king's favor tokens. You get 2 points for each room from a depleted room stack. So if 400 was out, even if it's out here, but the stack is out here, you get 2 points in your castle for every 400 room that you have. That includes hallways and stairs. Your bonus cards. You score your bonus cards. Now these are going to be, like this one says, you get 2 points for each of your rooms. It's a 150 room. This one is 2 points for each 100 room, each 250, each 300. Here's each of your sleeping rooms. Here's each of your activity rooms, each of your downstairs rooms, and so on. This says 8 points if you have all 10 room sizes. This says 7 points if you have all 8 room types. So a variety of different bonus cards there. And you'll notice each of these room cards has an icon on it, and that tells you the kinds of rooms that might be in this square footage room. So this one has the utility, the food, and the sleeping would be in the 300s. So that might help you determine if you're going to flip up or look at a different room type, which one you might want to look through based on what you want. Downstairs must have stairs to connect them, like I explained first, and you cannot connect downstairs rooms to upstairs rooms without a stairs in between them. This is Castles of Mad King Ludwig. It's really a very fun game. Very interesting, a lot of variety on things you can do. The solo game you play a little bit different. In the solo game you only fill up the bottom 3 spaces. You are playing on the other side of this, but you're only filling up 2 rooms, or 3 rooms, the 2,000, 4,000, and 6,000 rooms. And when you buy one, all the other rooms go away. You don't keep them out like in the regular game. So if you buy one, then at the end of the round you discard. And then you put 3 new rooms out each turn. And even if you take 5,000 marks from the bank, you still discard those rooms. If you buy a hallway or stairs, you discard those rooms. Then you play through. You do not have bonus tokens here to score off at the end of the game, but you do have these bonus cards. And then it gives you a score if you've got less than 50 points, if you got 51 to 70, if you got 71 to 85. And so you're actually competing against to get a good score to see how well you played on building your castle. So that's a solitaire game there if you don't have another player to play with. So that's how you play Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Make sure you're the best castle builder, the architect that builds the best castle for the Mad King. he actually got ousted for spending his fortune building castles. So make sure you tune into all of our how to play videos here at the Board Game Network.